We are here with my friend and colleague and fellow farmer, Janet. If you like it, the farm guy. And Janet, welcome. How is AFS so far?
I love every bit. I just got a notification for my return flight check-in, and
Right.
I am a little bit emotional because it will be so hard to leave this place.
Yeah.
I have learned so much. I have met so many people
Right.
where we always push for the same agendas on social media, and after so many years, 3 years, 4 years, we know each other by name, and at this forum I got to meet them in
Right.
person.
Face to
It has been wonderful.
Putting the flesh to the name. I think it's
Yeah.
been really exciting just to see also at this AFS forum a dedicated youth group where, young people themselves are driving their conversations and agenda. What has been the feeling about that? And
I
what
was-
excited you most?
I was in a hall
Yes.
where women were being appreciated.
Correct.
A very young woman, much younger than I was. I thought I really do make a very big difference,
Yes.
but in that hall, I am so little. I met a young woman who was just doing whatever she was doing, and she was creating employment for up to 6,000 women.
Oh, 6,000 women.
Just imagine the impact.
Right. That's really huge.
Yeah, those are very beautiful stories, and that's just one of the many stories. So it's wonderful.
I mean that's really impactful. And last week we were at your farm and we were really having interesting conversations about just the transformation you've seen, the impact that you yourself are creating in your community.
Yeah.
I just wanted to maybe share with our viewers and those who are listening in, like, how has your journey been? You mentioned it in one of your posts that, it's a small girl with a big dream. And once God puts a dream in you, tell us a bit more about that dream and what inspired you to come into agriculture.
There are model farms that I really do admire,
Yes.
and when my dream is when I grow up, I want to be like them.
Yes.
So I think you're very much aware of Komol farms.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah, every time I'm in the farm, that's my motivation to do better and to learn better. The first thing is I wanna create a lot of income for myself through farming, which includes maximizing the potential of my soil. And it's also about the knowledge that you have to do these activities, mechanization, and a bigger perspective is creating an income for other people. Yeah, and that is
one of the
meant.
things you mentioned, which I think will come to more in depth, is you're really passionate about soil health and about regenerative agriculture. But before, I think maybe we discussed that. Is maybe somebody who got an opportunity to watch the episode that we shot at your farm. I think for me, one thing that came out very clearly is just how daring, dedicated you are, as a young woman in agriculture. How was the journey been as a young woman in agriculture?
Challenging, of course. On your first day, you do not know anything,
Yes.
and there's a lot of information out there for you to find, and you have to go looking for them, and then you come back home and you have to implement them. My dad, when he gets the chance to visit the farm, he left the farm on me, and when he gets the farm when he gets the time to visit, he tells me he has been tilling that land since 1962.
Even before Kenya got independent.
Yeah. So imagine using the soil for over 50 years. No soil correction, no soil tests. You do not know about the health of your soil. And just one thing I learned is sometimes if you pick the soil and you cannot see those earthworms in the soil, it's really a bad situation. So I observed that, and that was like our first step towards doing this. We started doing our soil correction we did our soil test, and yeah, it has just been that trying to correct everything.
Right. I mean, I want to double down on just the story that you're mentioning. I mean, one thing that's interesting is, from what I'm getting, is that you are a second generation farmer.
Yeah.
And so there are those practices that, of course, your dad, did on the farm. But over time, as you said, has really affected the quality of the products and the crops that you are going to grow. So I want now to just to share with us on, since you started, with soil testing, for instance, or with this all different regenerative agricultural practices, what transformation have you seen on your farm? And what are some of those, I would say, regenerative agricultural practices that you have been able to do on your farm?
Yeah. I just want to give 2 examples of, on our previous year, we were still using the disc plow.
Yes.
And a section of the farm where we were doing maize. So we planted maize, and also at Komol. We visit Komol so many times. It's almost in the same region. So when we get rain, when it's too much sunshine, it's also the same on the other side. Literally, our maize was looking like onions. It was bad. It was bad.
Right.
The rains delayed. So we went to visit Komol.
Yes.
At the farm, it was like they were having rains. It was very healthy crops, and I think that was just the turning point for me. I said, oh, we just can't do this, because when using the disc plow, you expose too much moisture on the atmosphere, and it just disappears. The soil remains dry. Yeah, so this year we have too much rains.
Yes.
And we're still on trial. We have one side of the farm under minimum tillage, and the other side of the farm still under the discs. With the too much rains, we had so much rain flowing through the farm, and we lost a good amount of crop on the disc section side, and you can't imagine how firm the soil was, and the crops were on the minimum tillage width. So it's a learning process. We are comparing notes. We can see what's good and what's not. And we're just taking it a step further. I use my social media account to just pass on the education to other people, because it's the best thing that could happen to farmers. It's to adopt these regenerative agriculture methods.
I want you to tell us a bit more about, you mentioned about getting this knowledge and, of course, putting it as well on your farm. How did you get this knowledge, and what has Yara played? I mean, as Yara says, knowledge grows. How has Yara played a part in really helping you to take up some of these regenerative agricultural practices?
When they say knowledge grows, they actually mean it. I have sourced like 80% of my knowledge from Yara. The field days, the agronomy visit they're willing to make any time, as long as you just give them a call. And also during the knowledge exchange trip to Norway, it was very educative. Yeah, so Yara has done so much for me. Yeah.
Good. I think, I don't know whether we should take a flight to Norway first so that you share with us that experience, but maybe let's stay at the airport a bit. And I want you to tell us a bit more about, you mentioned about how you leverage social media. I have seen your numbers grow like exponentially. They're growing by the day. The community around your social media pages is growing by the day. How has it been for you to be able to create this brand around social media and use social media as an avenue to train, or to share information with others?
For myself, I would really want to have young people do something constructive on social media. The internet has a lot of things. You could collect something good or something bad.
Right.
And we have a good number of people who come to social media to look for information. And that's why I love to use that platform to pass the knowledge that I have. I am an introvert myself, so the physical meetups are a little bit difficult for me. But during my extra time, when I am just a few minutes to sleep, I can I can type something very fast and just attach pictures and just send, and it and after 24 hours you see it got to over 100,000 people. I mean that's really good.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It's really huge impact because it really shows, you know, the impact that you're creating, you know, by just leveraging on social media itself.
Yeah.
I don't know, should we take that flight to Norway? I remember one of the posts that you made on social media as well was one day you want to meet the other CEO, the president. Tell us a bit more about that, and how was the feeling of just meeting him first in Kenya and then over in his office in Oslo?
I remember while in Oslo, we were just a few minutes from meeting him, and I posted and I wrote, you have to believe in your dreams. It comes true. That was a dream come true for me. It is, I don't know, it was the best thing that has happened to me as a farmer. 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I was in my farm and I was just beginning to work with Yara, and I thought I want to visit I would one day want to meet the president, and not here, in the headquarters.
Yes.
And so in the preparation, it was, I don't know, I had to pinch myself a few times to just let it sink in that it was actually happening. Yeah, it was really motivating. It was good to meet people who are behind the scenes, who are doing the good work for us, who care about us. It is just not about making money. It is about helping the farmer take care of his soil. It is about bringing knowledge to the rural. Myself, I'm a rural farmer from Torochmoy. I don't know if any. You will Google it. So you can imagine just an idea from one person. It wasn't one, there were three, from three people, and they thought, let's do something towards food security and towards improving livelihoods. Yeah, and here we are truly impacted, I mean, and transforming other people's lives, and of course preaching the gospel of everyone around us, around our farms, who can get to embrace the fertilizers.
I mean, I want you to just give me, what are some of the key takeaways from the Oslo trip? I know there are so many things that we saw, there's so many things that we can say as key takeaways, but what are the highlight moments, apart from, of course, the snow, which in itself was a very good experience for me, but like, what are some of the exciting moments in Oslo, and maybe some of the, like, the lessons, maybe one or two lessons that you learned from that trip?
Mechanization in the countries, in Oslo.
Right.
We visited that farmer who we had crepes, and it was from his farm. Can you imagine that? The ability to trace where the food comes from. Sometimes in Kenya, when you have like somebody who took secretly a video of how some things are prepared, like, it's so scary. You can't. You wouldn't want to eat them. Yeah, that is. It will take some time, but I mean, if we, with such forums, if we are really intentional on doing things like that, they could actually happen. Yeah, and imagine the mechanization they have, and the knowledge to store their crops, that they remain fresh and useful even during the winter. I was asking myself, what reason do I have not to produce at all times? We do not have snow.
We don't, that's right.
But they farm even through the snow. It was just magical.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe as we kind of just wrap it up, one of the things that's also interesting, I think, that we, of course, working with Yara, most people online, when we interact with them, they ask us, how can we get the products? How affordable are the products? And so Yara, I think, has tried very intentionally to be able to bring different products so they can, enhance the farmer prosperity. What are your thoughts around just, what can you tell any farmer who wants to venture to farming, and what is the promise of them buying a bag of Yara fertilizer?
Most times when farmers come to me and they want help when it comes to the nutrition section in the farms.
Right.
Mostly I know when I tell you to go and buy this bag, it's because I know it delivers.
Yes.
And you can see results.
Yeah.
I don't know, myself as a farmer, I'm so appreciative,
Yeah.
very appreciative of Yara that it has stood like very firm on the quality it delivers to the farmers.
Right.
You see a product like Yara Vita Crop Boost.
Yes.
That's a magic. If you look at your crop before you spray on it and 7 days later, those are like two different farms.
Yeah.
If you look at Amidas,
Yes.
if you look at also
Yes.
micro planting,
Yeah.
those are just amazing products. And it's I have seen microp grow very much in Kenya, and so many testimonies when it comes to the maize.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just to appreciate the quality. And
I mean, I agree with you in terms of quality. You can be able to see the evidence, just like you made the example of the crop list.
Yeah.
And I think I remember also one of the exciting things for me in Norway was the showers. The showers at the factory, like how the innovation that goes behind developing some of these products.
yeah.
I think it was mind-blowing, the scale of operations, and just to see that this is what exactly is the lifeblood line of our soils. Because again, most importantly, I think as farmers we just buy a bag of Yara fertilizer
yeah,
because of the promise of the opportunity and potential to unlock the needs of the farm. But
yeah,
not all of us have the opportunity just to visualize and see the process that it takes to build the products. I think in terms of quality, I would say Yara has, as you said, has rightfully invested in making sure that quality is there and affordability as well, for instance, for micro.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's really as a good opportunity to kind of unlock potential and really drive farmer prosperity.
and the branding.
And the brand
They have very good branding.
and the unique branding as well.
Yeah.
I think maybe as we kind of end, I want to just take us back to memory lane. We were on your farm. We had a group of young people, on your farm. I think that was one of the most interactive sessions that I think I've also attended, of just young farmers who are doing it. And one of the things that came out for me very clearly is the honesty of those farmers.
Yes.
Like they're telling it as it is. I lost my farm. I lost. So you sitting there as a convener of these young people, how did that feel? What are some of the lessons that you learned from that particular session?
It was scary for me at first,
Yeah.
because you tell people to come because you want to see it, you want to share experiences, you want to pass on the knowledge that you have to the new farmers who are there. And you're really so scared because that was my first. I've not had something like that at the farm. And to just when everybody left, and at night I was a little scared because there's always feedback.
Yeah.
And I was so anxious. How are these people going to say? Was it good? Was it informative? Was it? And I had like 3 farmers who just called and they said, "You have changed my life."
Right.
I was. Some bit of the evening, I was even so scared. I couldn't eat. I couldn't. Yeah, but after that, I was so overwhelmed.
Right.
And I think for me, that was the moment I just decided that was going to be our first field day out of many. I want to hold more. I want to change and just motivate people even physically.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's really great because yours is double impact. You're impacting people online through your social media. You also impacting people, at the community level. Honestly, when I had the conversations at that point, the honesty for me really struck my heart because most of the times, what we see in agriculture, basically people who just say agriculture is fun, agriculture is great. But to know the real stories, I think that was really challenging for me. And thanks again for hosting us. I don't know if you have any last words for anybody who's listening in, anybody who's viewing this, just as a young woman farmer. What would be that one or two, pointers that you want to share with anybody who's listening?
I feel like we have so much potential in agriculture. You know, because agriculture doesn't really choose if you have not gone to school or if you have a PhD.
Yes.
Anybody can do it.
Right.
And I feel like we just have to accept the state of where we are in Africa,
Yeah.
and do something. Like the theme of this forum is innovate and scale, and
Right.
we can come up with something. We have so many ideas going around that people can benefit out of.
Yeah.
I am a producer. There are so many people in the value chains who can just come up with very great ideas. So I just want to say, like, agriculture has a space for everybody. I want us to come in. I want us to be intentional about changing our lives through agriculture. That we can be better.
Right.
We can be even close to what
Right.
the Western countries are.
I think I wouldn't want to add anything on that point because it's very spot on. Agriculture has space for everyone,
Yeah.
and we just need to make, usefulness out of it. I think
Yeah.
that's a really good way to end it. So thank you very much, Jeanette, and thank you for always sharing your inspiring story. I wish you the very best of luck, and of course, for me also, just seeing all of this as you grow and develop, mine is just to celebrate you and say, keep sharing your story and inspiring other young African women.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.